Hello friends, welcome to Affairs Cloud Learn to Lead. This is Ashu and today we will discuss very important current affair of 5th of March 2021. You can see two best images of the day, but today we will discuss 14 to 15 very important and the most important current affairs. So watch the video till last, but I am requesting you all the students that you have to like this video, you have to share as maximum as possible and you have to subscribe this channel. But before proceeding, I just want to discuss about Affairs Cloud subscription. It means we are talking about current affairs PDF subscription. You have to download our application. The application name is Careers Cloud. So remember, the name of application is Careers Cloud. You can download from the description box link. It means we put a link of downloading this application in the description box. You can download from that link. You will cover the current affair in very systematic manners, like you can subscribe 1 year current affairs as well as 2 year subscription, and both the subscription prices are very much low. You have to visit our website if you want to subscribe 2020 subscription. The prices of 2020 subscription is very much low, and guys remember 2020 subscription is available for 1 year as well as for 6 months. So what we are providing under this subscription, it means why you will subscribe this subscription. First of all, we will provide the daily wise PDF. In the daily wise PDF section, we are providing two type of PDFs. One is related to the theoretical, it means detailed current affair of particular day. Second is the question and answer PDF. It means all the theoretical current affairs will be provided to you in the form of question and answer so that you can revise the current affair very easily. Next is the weekly PDF section. Again, very important because you can revise the current affair on weekly basis. And next is the weekly test. You can evaluate yourself that how much current affair you can retain for long time period. Next section and the most important section is the monthly PDF section, because we are providing so many PDFs according to your exam. Like first is the study PDF. It means all the current affairs in theoretical format and detailed manner will be provided under this PDF of particular month. Next is the question and answer PDF. It means all the theoretical current affair will be provided to you in the form of question and answer so that you can revise the question and answer format of current affairs again and again. Next is the pocket PDF. As the name suggests, you can revise the current affair very easily before your exam in theoretical format. Next is the banking, finance and economy PDF. As the name suggests, it is very important for those aspirants who are preparing for banking exam. Next is the top 100 current affair. It means top 100. It means best 100 current affairs will be provided to you in the format of question and answer so that you can revise again and again. So these current affairs will be provided to you on the daily basis, weekly PDF, weekly test and monthly PDF so that your current affairs section will become strong. And guys, the price of this subscription is very much low. If you visit the website for the 2020 subscription and you visit the website and you will see the price, you will definitely surprised to see the price. And on that minimal price, we are providing 10% extra discount. If you use this code ASH10, then you will get 10% extra discount on that minimal cost. So let's start today's current affair, that is 5th of March 2021, and we are starting our first section, that is the most important question section. But I am again requesting you all the students that you have to like this video, you have to share as maximum as possible, and you have to subscribe our channel. So let's start with the first question. First question is, United Nations General Assembly adopted a resolution sponsored by India to mark which year as International Year of Millets? So mark this question as the most important question because United Nations General Assembly declared 1 year as an International Year of Millets, and this question is most important because this resolution was initiated by India along with other countries like Bangladesh, Kenya, Nepal, Nigeria, Russia and Senegal. And guys remember, the resolution titled International Year of Millet 2023 was supported by over 70 nations, and this year 2023 will be celebrated as International Year of Millets. So you can see here, United Nations General Assembly adopts India-sponsored resolution declaring 2023 as International Year of Millets. You can also see here, the resolution titled International Year of Millet 2023 was supported by over 70 nations, but this resolution was initiated by India along with the other countries like Bangladesh, Kenya, Nepal and Nigeria. Objective of this resolution to raise awareness about the health benefits of the grain and suitability for cultivation under changing climatic conditions. So one question most important under this question is which agency will be implementing agency of International Year of Millet 2023? Undoubtedly, the Organization of the Food and Agriculture Organization of United Nations will become the implementing agency of the International Year of Millets in 2023. The adoption of resolution will invite enhanced investments in the research and development and extension services related to millets by default, because it is also expected to create awareness about millet millet production, which will contribute to food security, nutrition, ensure livelihoods and income of farmers, and poverty eradication. And it will help in achieving the sustainable development goals in regions which are drought prone or threatened by the climate change. So that's why it is very important. So it is also expected to create awareness about the millet production or the millet production development. It will promote millets as one of the main components of the food baskets. But guys, remember, India celebrated 2018 as the National Year of Millets, but we are talking about the International Year of Millets, then it will be 2023. If the examiner is asking about the National Year of Millet, then it was the 2018. So you have to remember. And millets are majorly grown in India, like the Asian countries and the African countries. Even 97% of the millet production comes from the developing countries. So this is the very important point. So you have to remember about United Nations General Assembly. Where is the headquarters? Headquarters is in New York, United States of America. And who is the president? Volkan Bozkir. You have to remember the Volkan, or you can also remember Bozkir. Bozkir, Volkan Bozkir. Moving to next question. For the first time, Indian Air Force is participating in the annual multinational large force employment warfare exercise, and the name of the exercise is Desert Flag 6, held at which place? So Markan, the most important question because of this exercise, the exercise name is Desert Flag 6. It means we are talking about which country is hosting this exercise. This is a multinational exercise and so many countries are participating under this exercise, and name of this exercise is Desert Flag 6. So most important keyword of this question is Desert Flag 6. So I am giving you a hint that it is the first time that Indian Air Force is participating in a multilateral or multinational exercise in the Gulf region. So it means the country belongs to one of the Gulf region. So answer of this question is very simple. Answer of this question is United Arab Emirates. It means this exercise is hosted by United Arab Emirates Air Force from 3rd March to 27th of March 2021. It means it is currently going on. And who are the participating countries? Like India, Bahrain is there, France is there, Saudi Arabia is there, South Korea is there, and even USA is also there. So remember, you can also see here, it is the first time that Indian Air Force joins multinational exercise Desert Flag 6 in the Gulf region. But it is the 4th time that India is participating in that multinational exercise. You can also see here, it is the first time that Indian Air Force is participating in the multilateral exercise in the Gulf region. Earlier, India participated in the 3 other exercises like American Red Flag in 2016. It was way before back, 2016. And Israel's Blue Flag. And remember, Red Flag exercise is American Red Flag, and the Blue Flag is related to Israel, 2017, and India participated in 2017. And here is a Pitch Black. Pitch Black exercise is related to Australian. So it was in 2018. In 2019 and 20, India was not participating in any of the exercises like multinational exercising. So remember, 2016 American, 2017 Blue Flag is Israeli, and Pitch Black belongs to Australia. So India is participating 4th time in the multinational exercise. So you can also see here participating countries: Bahrain, France, Saudi Arabia, South Korea, USA, but it is not so much important. So main important thing is the hosting country. Next is why this exercise took place. It is to provide operational exposure to participating forces, and Indian Air Force is participating in such a multilateral exercise for the 4th time in the last 5 years. Like from 2016, we are talking about USA, in 2017, we are talking about Israel, and in 2018, we are talking about Australian Pitch Black exercise. And guys, you have to remember, recently Indian Air Force and French Air Force conducted the first edition of bilateral air exercise that is known as Desert 921. So don't confuse with the Desert Flag 6, and it is Desert Night 21, or you can say DK21. It was held in Jodhpur. So guys, remember, Desert Flag 6 is a multinational exercise, but Desert Night 21 is between India and France, and it is a bilateral air exercise. So guys, remember, this is the most important question, and we are now moving to next question. And guys, remember about Indian Air Force, who is the Chief of Air Staff, RKS Bhaduria, or Rakesh Kumar Singh Bhaduria ji. Move to next question. World first platypus sanctuary to come up at. So it means world first platypus sanctuary will be come at which country? So answer of this question is very simple, because recently due to the bushfires, The population of platypus was severely affected in 2019-20. So it means I am talking about which country? I am talking about Australia. So remember, world's first platypus sanctuary to come up at Australia. You can also see here, and you can also see the picture of platypus. And Australia is building a world first sanctuary for the platypus, an egg-laying mammal in a semi-aquatic creature that generally lives in the small streams and slow-moving rivers at cool temperatures. So that's why we are talking about Australia. Platypus is considered to be a protected species in Australia, whose population was severely affected in 2019-20 Australia bushfires. So Australia is building this sanctuary because it is the protected species in Australia, and this sanctuary is built to promote its breeding and rehabilitation, consisting of mostly ponds and the burrows housing up to 65 platypuses, and is planned to be built by year of 2022. It means it will be functional in the year of 2022. So let's move to next question. AIBA, International Boxing Association, has appointed which world champion as the new chairperson of the AIBA Champion and Veterans Committee? So this is the most important committee of this organization, that is International Boxing Association. And we are talking about one of the world champion. And this world champion belongs to which game? This world champion by default belongs to boxing game. So answer of this question is very simple. Answer of this question is B, and Mary Kom is the answer. You can also see here Mary Kom appointed as the chairperson of AIBA's Champions and Veterans Committee. And she was elected by the male vote of the board member of International Boxing Association. And guys, remember, Olympic medalist, that is Michelle Philip of Ireland, was appointed as the vice chairperson of this committee by the board of director. You can also see here Olympic medalist Michelle Philip of Ireland was appointed as the vice chairperson of this committee, and chairperson of this committee became the Mary Kom. And she was elected by the male vote of the board of member. And the president of India in 2016, the president of India, Pranab Mukherjee, nominated Mary Kom as a member of the Rajya Sabha. And because there is a power in the Rajya Sabha that 12 members can be nominated by the president from the arts, literature, science and the social service, and she was appointed from the arts. It means she has a extraordinary talent in the boxing. The government of Manipur honored her with the title of Mithoi Lima. So this is again very important, that which person is honored with the title of the Mithoi Loma. That means great or exceptional lady. So you have to remember these all things. And second thing under this question is very important, that is, where is the headquarter of International Boxing Association? Headquarter of International Boxing Association is in Lausanne, Switzerland. So remember, where is the Lausanne? That is in Switzerland. Now we are moving to next question. Which Indian shuttler won the 2021's Uganda International Badminton title? So only the slide is very important. It means the question itself is very important. Uganda International Badminton title won by which Indian shuttler? So it was won by two shuttlers. One is the Varun Kapoor, second is Malvika Bansod. So answer of this question is both A and B. So you can also see the picture of both. You can see the picture of the Varun Kapoor, and you can also see the picture of Malvika Bansod, who won the title of Uganda International titles. You can also see here Uganda International is a part of Badminton World Federation circuit that adds a point as the world ranking and for Olympic Games qualification. It means it is very important tournament, because by winning this tournament you can improve your world ranking and you can also be qualified for the Olympic Games. And it is a 4-day long tournament, was scheduled in the February with the price of almost about $10,000. And the countries which are participating, that is India, Germany and the African countries. And you have to remember, recently world champion PV Sandhu named as one of the ambassadors for Badminton World Federation I Am Badminton Awareness Campaign. This is again very important, but it is a news of last year. Like this is 1 year old news, because this news happened in April 2020. But you can remember, I Am Badminton is a awareness campaign of Badminton World Federation, and who become the brand ambassador, that is PV Sindhu. It is she is the one of the brand ambassador. So you have to remember. And Badminton Association of India, who is the president? President is Himanta Biswa Sharma. Himanta Biswa Sharma. And where is the headquarter of Badminton World Federation? Headquarter of Badminton World Federation is Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Remember, Malaysia is the headquarter. Now moving to next question. India's first dolphin research center to start soon in which city? So very simple question. It means you have to remember this question as in the slide. India's and Asia's first national dolphin research center. Remember, India's and Asia's first national dolphin research center will come up on the banks of the Ganga river and in the premises of the Patna University in Bihar. It means we are talking about Patna, because 50% of the world's river dolphin population are in Bihar, and dolphin is a highly endangered species under the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. When India was passed the Wildlife Protection Act, it was passed in 1972, and after 1 year Project Tiger was started. It means in 1973 Project Tiger was started. And guys, remember, national aquatic animal in 2009, Gangetic dolphin, or you can say the dolphin, was declared as the national aquatic animal in 2009. You can also see here, it is the India's and Asia's first national dolphin research center, and it will come up at the bank of Ganga river in the premises of the Patna University in Bihar. And 50% of the world river dolphin population are in Bihar, and dolphin is a highly endangered species under the Wildlife Protection Act of 1972, and it is also declared as the national aquatic animal in 2009. So remember these vital information. This is very important. Now we are moving to very important question. Here is the first question. What is the theme of second edition of Global Bio India 2021 held virtually, inaugurated by Dr. Harshvardhan? So the most important thing under this question is the Global Bio India 2021 Summit, and it is inaugurated by Dr. Harshvardhan, that is Union Minister of Earth Sciences. So it is an international platform which combines biotechnological stakeholders like international bodies, regulatory bodies, center and state ministries, even MSMEs, large industries, and other startup ecosystem, because it is organized to showcase opportunities of the India's biotechnology sector at national level and to the global community, so that we can move to the research and development sector. The event saw the participation of over 6,000 delegates from over 50 countries and hosted around 24 knowledge sessions across different segments. So that's why this is a huge Bio India Summit at global level, and its name is also suggests that it is Global Bio India Summit 2021, and it is inaugurated by Dr. Harshvardhan. So we are talking about the theme of this second edition of this Bio Summit. So theme is very simple. Theme is transforming lives. And what is the caption under this transforming lives? That is bioscience to bioeconomy. You can also see here Dr. Harshvardhan inaugurated 3-day second edition Global Bio India 2021 transforming lives, and caption is bioscience to bioeconomy. So you can see here transforming lives with the tagline is bioscience to bioeconomy. The biotechnology sector is recognized as one of the key drivers for India to achieve its USD 5 trillion target, which we have to achieve till the year of 2024-25. It is organized to showcase opportunity of India at biotechnology sector at national level, at the global level also. So what are the country partners? Country partners are Switzerland and the Netherlands. You have to remember this. State partners are Karnataka and Odisha. Because it is held virtually, so the examiner can't ask about the state who is organizing this event, but you have to remember the state partners are Karnataka and the Odisha. Country partners are Switzerland and the Netherlands. So you have to remember Union Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, Ministry of Finance, addressed the inaugural session of as a special guest. Now we are moving to next question. Which country has signed the implementing arrangement for procurement of defense material and equipment with India? It means India will export some defense material and equipment to the this country. So it means India and this country signed agreement so that India can export the defense material and equipment to this country. So this is a very good news for India, because we are focusing on the Atmanirbhar Bharat, especially in the defense sector, and we want to manufacture maximum to maximum products in the defense sector. Especially you can see HAL is there, Hindustan Aeronautics Limited is there, BEML is there, Bharat Earth Movers Limited is there, BHEL is also there, Bharat Heavyweight Electrical Limited. So these are the organizations which are participating to focus on the Atmanirbhar Bharat. Now this country who is basically procuring the defense material and equipment from India is Philippines. You can see here the name of the country. So answer of this question is C. You can also see here India will specially export the BrahMos missile, that is India and Russia jointly procured missile, that is Brahmaputra and Moscow missile. Supply India signs key pact with the Philippines for the sale of defense equipment, and especially for this missile that is known as the BrahMos missile. So the arrangement involves the procurement of the defense equipment by the Philippines from India, and this is a possible sale of the Indo-Russian BrahMos supersonic cruise missile to the Philippines. It means India will export this missile to Philippines. So what about Philippines? Capital is Manila and currency is peso, Philippine peso. So now we are moving to next question. Which program of ISRO's will help Indian space tech startups? So this is very important news. You have to remember this. Which program of ISRO's will help Indian space tech startups? So it means they can use the ISRO's facility. They can use the ISRO's expertise. It means they are focusing to promote the startups in the space sector. So this is the program of ISRO and it is known as the SEED program. So what is the meaning of this SEED program? It means Space Entrepreneurship and Enterprise Development. You can also see here Indian Space Research Organization ISRO. Where is the headquarter of ISRO? Headquarter is in Bengaluru. And who is currently the head of ISRO? Head of ISRO is K. Sivan. Remember this. ISRO is on formulating an exclusive space startup program, that is Space Entrepreneurship and Enterprise Development, to take startups in the space sector to higher orbit with a string of initiatives to help them realize their business potential. It means ISRO will help these startups and ISRO will share the expertise, ISRO will share the infrastructure to these startups. So that's why there are so many startups in the space sector. So very important startup is like Agnikula. Agnikula, very important startup in the space sector. You can also remember the Pixel is there, Skyroot is there, Agnikul Cosmos is there, Kava Space is there. These are the very important startups in the space sector. So ISRO is helping all the startups. So very important startups in the space sector. So now we are moving to next question, but you have to remember SEED is a program for the startups and it is started by the ISRO. Next question is Export and Import Bank of India on behalf of the government of India signed a soft loan deal of 10.40 million USD. It means around 76 crore with which country for the construction of disaster recovery site? So very simple question. It means the government of India, or you can say the Export Import Bank of India, is helping this country to construct a disaster recovery site in future. So that is very simple, but here is one new term, that is soft loan. So what is soft loan? So this is a very new term for you. A loan with no interest or below market rate of interest is known as the soft loan. So soft loans have lenient terms like extended grace periods. They also offer longer schedules than the bank loans. So it is a very important type of the loans. It means soft loans are given out by the multinational or the federal banks to support developing countries or the underdeveloped countries to form political or the economic ties with them. And this country is, guys, Eswatini, and the old name of this country is Swaziland. So this is a country within a country. You can also see the India's Export Import Bank in $10.40 million. It means almost 76 crore rupees soft loan pact with the Eswatini. So examiner can confuse you with the name of the Swaziland. You can see here, this is a African continent. This is a Madagascar. You can see this is South Africa. And within South Africa, there is a country that is known as the Swaziland. So you can see here, Exim Bank has extended the line of credit of almost 76 crore to the government of Eswatini for the construction of disaster recovery site. And the loan covers the Eswatini project in various sectors like information technology, you can say the disaster management and the agriculture. It means they can use this loan in the various sectors. So remember about Swaziland, this is very important, and remember about the Exim Bank. You can also see here is the Exim Bank. Where is the headquarter of Exim Bank? That is Mumbai, Maharashtra. And who is the regulating authority of Exim Bank? That is same, RBI. And when it was established in 1982 when NABARD was established, because NABARD was also established in 1982. And who is the MD or the managing director of Exim Bank? That is David Rascuna. We from the last 5 to 6 days we are covering this news that Exim Bank managing director is David Rascuna. So remember about Eswatini, or you can say the Swaziland. What is the capital? Capital is Mababane. Mbabane, that is Mababane. And second capital is Lombamba. Lombamba, Lombamba. So remember, Mababane or the Mobamba is the capital of the Swaziland, or you can say the Eswatini. And what is the name of the currency? Name of the currency is Lilangeni, Lilangeni. That is Lilangeni. Now we are moving to next question. Which bank signed a MOU with R Food Private Limited for arranging cost-effective food processing units to farmers through the bank loan? It means Our Food Private Limited will provide the processing units and loan will provided by this bank, and this bank name is Karnataka Vikas Gramin Bank. So answer is very simple. Answer is A, Karnataka Vikas Gramin Bank. You can see here Karnataka Vikas Gramin Bank and our food signed a pact for arranging processing units to the farmer so that their income can be enhanced, because there is a target till 2022 we have to double the farmers income. You can also see here our Food Private Limited will assist the farmers to set up processing units and will also procure the processed food and sell them to bulk buyer. It means they will also do the marketing on behalf of the farmers. So this is the function of our Food Private Limited. They will provide the processing units to the farmer. They will educate how to utilize these processing units, and they will also do the marketing for the processed products and sell them to the bulk buyers. So it will definitely enhance the farmers income, and we can achieve the target of double the incomes of farmers by the year of 2022. The vendor will ensure the supply, delivery and installation of high quality and standardized and branded equipment as the needs of the farmer. This will also ensure the purchase of the processed food products, because we already covered that this organization will also procure this food and also do the marketing on behalf of the farmers. And you can remember our Food Private Limited organization belongs to Hyderabad, Telangana state. Don't remember MD and don't remember the Karnataka Vikas Gramin Bank, because you know headquarters is in Karnataka, exact place is Dharwad. DHARWAD, exact place is Dharwad. We are moving to next question. Axis Securities launched which online platform to buy and sell bonds as well as the debentures in the secondary market? So you have to tell me what is the name of this online platform from which you can buy or sell the bonds as well as the debentures in the secondary market. And it is a first of its kind initiative that allows retail investor direct access to the debt instruments. Debt instruments are the assets that require a fixed payment to the holder, usually with interest. It means it is like a bond, pre-signed bond. Rate of interest is fixed, time is fixed, and principal amount is whichever you is paying. So earlier this online access was available only to the large corporations, family offices or the high net worth individuals, but now it is open to all. And this platform named as Yield, because by the name you can guess this Yield means you can grow your money by investing or by buy or selling these bonds in the secondary market from this platform. So you can see here this is the Axis Security who started this platform, and this platform named as Yield. You can also see here it is a first of its kind initiative that allows retail investor direct access to the debt instruments. Earlier this online access was available only to the large corporations, family offices and high net worth individuals. And debt instruments are the asset that required a fixed payment to the holder, usually with the interest, like a bond, predetermined or the prefixed interest rate, prefixed time period. It will remove the hassle of filling up physical forms on the need for separate know your customer with the bond institutions. It facilitates transactions only in secure options, as it aggregates only AAA to A rated quality debt instruments available for investment. It means the rated debt instruments are available for the investments. So guys, remember it is Axis Security, but this question is not so much important. Just remember the keyword, that is yield. This is the important keyword. Don't remember Axis Securities. Its headquarters is in Mumbai, but it is not important for you. Moving to next question. Which state signed an agreement with International Crops Research Institute for semi-arid tropics to strengthen the management of natural resources? So the question arises here, why there is a need to strengthen the management of natural resources in the state? Because this will benefit the particularly vulnerable tribal groups in 12 districts of this state. And the arrangement is valid for a period of 3 years. It means it will increase or it will empower and provide the livelihoods for this tribal group. So this is very important, and this state is Odisha. So remember the Chief Minister of Odisha. Chief Minister of Odisha is Naveen Patnaik. I think all the students know that Naveen Patnaik is one of my favorite Chief Minister. Very simple man, very simple man. And you have to remember the name of the Odisha governor, and who is the Odisha governor is Ganeshi Lal. So remember there is a Simlipal Biosphere Reserve, there is a Satkoshia Tiger Reserve, that is important. And next you can remember Hirakud Dam. It is the India's longest dam on the Mahanadi river. You have to remember this. There is a Bhitarkanika National Park. So I am repeating again. Simlipal Biosphere Reserve is there. Satkoshia Tiger Reserve is there. Next is Bhitarkanika National Park. Next is Hirakud Dam on the Mahanadi River in Odisha. So many things. Governor is Ganeshilal, Chief Minister is Naveen Patnaik. And you can see here, International Crops Research and Institute for the Semi-Arid Crops joins hand with the government of Odisha for the vulnerable tribal groups in the state. You can also see here, it is to strengthen the management of natural resources that benefit the particularly vulnerable tribal groups in 12 districts of the state. And the agreement is period for the 3 years, and it is to promote sustainable integrated natural resource management through capacity building and the monitoring. So it will enhance the income of the tribal groups as well. It will also provide the livelihood for the tribal groups. So it is to promote sustainable integrated natural resource management through capacity building and monitoring. So remember this. So this institution is not so much important like International Crops Research Institute for Semi-Arid and Tropics. Its headquarters is in Telangana, like exact places in Hyderabad, but you don't have to remember the headquarters. But you can remember this, that this organization will undertake the capacity building initiative for the tribal groups who are dependent on agriculture, so that they can do the water harvesting, they can record the hydrological parameters and the crop productivity, so that their income can be enhanced. So this is the main function of the International Crops Research Institute for the Semi-Arid Tropics. Now we are moving to next question, and we are moving to the important question section. India and which country signed MOU in the field of renewable energy cooperation? Because there is need to move on the renewable energy, because we have a target here like 175 gigawatt we have to achieve by the year of 2022 from the new and renewable energy resources, and 450 gigawatt by the year of 2030. This is a target of India under the sustainable development goals for the new and renewable energy. Now we are partnering with another country so that we can focus on the new and renewable energy, especially now we are focusing on the electric vehicles. And Indian government signed this agreement with the government of France. So you have to remember, we signed this agreement with the government of France. So why we signed this agreement? Because to establish a platform for promotion of bilateral cooperation in the field of new and renewable energy on the basis of mutual benefit, you can say the equality between the two countries, and it also covers the renewable energy technologies related to solar, wind, hydrogen, biomass or anything. So it is France and India. So one agreement more signed, but it is signed in the agriculture and allied sector. So you have to tell me, India and which country signed MOU in the field of agriculture and allied sector? So now the country is Fiji, and the focus is very simple because it is related to agriculture and allied sector, and it is signed for the time period of 5 years. So both the countries will form the joint working group to be constituted for laying down procedures and plans for achieving the aims through the exclusive or you can say the agencies of the two countries. And this joint working group will hold meetings alternately in India and Fiji once in every 2 years. So this is the main function of this Fiji and India, so that we can boost the agriculture products and we can boost the agriculture allied sector products, so that farmers' income can be enhanced in agriculture as well as in the allied sector. So remember about France and Fiji. So France president is Emmanuel Macron, capital is Paris, and currency is euro. And secondly, you have to remember about the Fiji. Fiji's capital is Suva. So remember, the capital is Suva, currency is Fijian dollar, and prime minister is Frank Bainimarama. But you don't have to remember the prime minister name of Fiji because he was not in news. So remember about the capital is Suva. So these are the cabinet approvals, like one pact with for the allied activities of the agriculture and agriculture products. Second is for the new and renewable energy. Now, next important question is, which state government launched Jagroot or the Jagroot, a digital platform to boost e-governance? And I am giving you hint that this is the first northeastern state who are starting this type of the platform which is boosting e-governance initiative. Otherwise, this state is the third state who are boosting the e-governance system and launching a platform for the e-governance boost. But otherwise, in the northeastern area, this is the first state. And the name of this state is not Assam. Many students are thinking about Assam. The exact answer is Tripura. And the name of this program is Tripura Jagroot. You can see here, digital platform Jagroot Tripura launched to boost the e-governance initiative. It means all the schemes of the state government and the center government will be provided on the online platform, so that everyone can assess this type of the scheme. So this program is known as the Jagroot Tripura. So you can see here, This program will provide the various central and the state government schemes. Currently, the platform is integrated with the 35 state departments and state providing over 135 services. And Tripura is the third state in India and only after the Bihar and Karnataka to implement such a platform, and first in the northeastern. This is the important point. First in the northeastern India who is providing the e-governance system on the online platform. Now we are moving to next question. Prime Minister Modi ji inaugurated Shyama Prasad Mukherjee Institute of Medical Science and Research at. So this is again very important question because it is inaugurated by Prime Minister Modi ji. So that's why it is important. And Prime Minister Modi ji addressed 66th convocation of the IIT Kharagpur through a video conference. That's why he inaugurated Dr. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee Institute of Medical Science and Research at IIT Kharagpur. So remember, this Shyama Prasad Mukherjee Institute of Medical Science and Research is a super specialty hospital that has been set up in the Indian Institute of Technology Kharagpur with the support of the Ministry of Education. So this is just a one-liner question. You have to just remember this slide as same as the slide. So now we are moving to the one-liner important points. So very important point first is Pollard, Kieron Pollard becomes the third batsman to hit 6 sixes in an over in an international cricket. So very good news for the cricket lovers, and he becomes the third international player who basically you can say the hit 6 sixes in an over. First player, or you can say the other two players, are Herschel Gibbs from the South Africa and Yuvraj Singh from India. And third player becomes the Kieron Pollard, and he belongs to which country? West Indies. So you have to remember there was a match, there was a T20 match between the two countries like West Indies and the Sri Lanka. So remember, it was between the Sri Lanka and West Indies. So Pollard becomes the third batsman. Next is Tarun Bajaj given additional charge of Revenue Secretary. So very important news you have to remember. Just remember the name of Tarun Bajaj. So why Tarun Bajaj is important? Because he was already the you can say the secretary of the Department of Economic Affairs, but now he has given an additional charge of the post of Secretary, Department of Revenue under the Ministry of Finance. He will succeed the Ajay Bhushan Pandey, who retires on the February of 28. So remember, now he is the Secretary of Department of Economic Affairs and the Department of Revenue. Next is the Tabreed and IFC to invest USD 400 million to India and the Southeast Asia. So news is not so much important, but you can read just that Tabreed. It is a you can say the United Arab Emirates cooling company, central cooling company, and International Finance Corporation has set up a invest 400 USD in capital development in India and the Southeast Asian countries for building cooling service infrastructure. So this is not so much important news, but you have to remember this IFC, International Finance Corporation, and headquarters in Washington DC, United States of America, and Tabreed is a company of United Arab Emirates. Next is the SEBI cancels Sahara India Financial Corporation registered as sub-broker, but here important is SEBI. SEBI was established in 1988, Securities and Exchange Board of India, but it becomes statutory body in 1992. And who is currently head of SEBI? Ajay Tyagi. Next is India to fund NPR 246 million for the restoration of 3 cultural heritage sites in Nepal. We already covered this point in past few days. So remember, India is funding so much amount to the Nepal so that they can restore the 3 cultural heritage sites. Because of 2015 earthquake, these cultural sites basically demolished. So that's why India is funding so much amount. Next is Health Minister Harshvardhan released a report of ICMA AIIMS and DGMS PGMR pictorial guidebook to prevent hearing loss. So what is the aim of this guidebook that is known as the Prevent Hearing Loss? It is to reach out to the underserved and unserved areas in India and to provide the needs of the people with communication disorder. So remember, All India Institute of Speech and Hearing, situated in Karnataka, exact place is in Mysuru. So remember the name of the institute, All India Institute of Speech and Hearing. So now we are moving to the question of the day, and last day question was the famous Dilwara temples of Mount Abu are the sacred pilgrimage place for the, very important question, and it was asked in the CGL 2016. So all the students who gave the answer are very much right. So answer of this question is Jains. So remember, the Dilwara temples are the Jain temples of India located in the Mount Abu, Rajasthan, especially the Aravalli Hill area of the Mount Abu. So remember this. So now we are moving to the question of the day. Question of the day is the world largest island is, very simple question guys. The world largest island is So you can give answer in very simple words. The world largest island is. So you have to only answer in the comment box. So guys, please provide 700 plus likes. Please subscribe our channel and please press the bell button so that you can receive the notification on time. And it is Affairs Cloud promise that it will boost your confidence in the general awareness section. And it is my personal promise that if you are watching the videos regularly and if you are reading the current affairs from the PDF, your current affairs section will go strong, because 90 to 95% current affairs are coming from our current affairs. So that's why it is the genuinity of Affairs Cloud, and this is the hard work of our Affairs Cloud team. So guys, thank you for watching this video, and don't take life so much serious. Life is fun. Always be happy, because happiness is the key of success. Thank you guys again, and take care. Bye bye.